Greetings everyone. Now, last week Apple shares fall because, well, China banned iPhone used by government employees. I'm here quoting the headline. So in other words, China says that this is something bad if government employees are using iPhones because of what? Well, actually, the article and general news of the day says that there are no more detailed comments from Apple or Chinese official positions, so everything we could say is more of our own interpretation about what's going to happen or why it's happening. But one thing is for sure, despite the fact that share prices fell rather spectacularly, this is part of bigger issue, because this drop from late 80s to 173 at the time of the writing was knee-jerk reaction, but overall things are more complex, because I'm almost certain by fact that Apple knows why this is happening, and China knows that very well, but they don't want to disclose that because that's their position. Whether it's because China is protecting their market by pushing employees to use their own phones and devices instead, or Apple is a scapegoat due to the United States-China trade war, or maybe a combination of them both, I don't know. But this is certainly not a surprise for them, because, for instance, just not that long ago Apple announced that they would start production in India because they want to diversify from China. So they knew very well that something bad might happen and something is going on, so they have to diversify their production capacities, and they have to be able to produce from various places in case of what happens in China, so that there is no spillovers to other industries as well, many parts of businesses. So they did that. But here's the thing, these kinds of decisions to make factory in another country, India for that matter, not like United States, that takes years. This is years of preparation, years of calculation, and to make decisions. So Apple probably is going to, I think prepare themselves for the fact that there could be huge turbulence in China, and if this happens, they have plan B, and they could produce from various places, and their overall business model is affected only in small percentage, but still Apple is third largest market of their products. So if something bad happens with China and United States trade war, Apple will be hit pretty decently, at least in short term as well. So it's not that they it's not that they won't be hurt at all, but still, that's their thing about Apple. This is the largest company, so they have several layers of operations in China. One is production operation, and second is sales operation. So if production operation is relatively straightforward, how they could diversify it by making production in several countries and several regions. So if something bad happens to one, there could be places that could at least in part offset that. Then it's slightly more difficult to offset the fact that in some case there could be complete ban from China for Apple's. What they would do, this is how much there was 20%, I think that was 20% of the revenue came from China, so that's pretty decent hit. So they wouldn't probably be happy about it. 18% of total revenue is from China to Apple, so they could do, they have limited uses for that, so they might take a hit, and they had to just live with it. Question is that going to destroy Apple? Well, no, because Apple is I think the most established brand today, and it's one of the most powerful companies in the world, given by fact how much market share of the technology it has, like overall technology, not just phones, but everything that Apple does, how it collects data, how it's able to operate with the data that it has. So it has huge impact, and they don't going to get out of the business. Yes, they might be hit, but it's not that they are going to go out of business regardless what China says. But is it warning from China? To answer my previous questions, well, I don't know. But I know that Apple knows what's happening, and they probably will be prepared if something bad happens. If it's going to be complete ban, I don't know. Maybe China will start to play some political game if United States will do something bad to China relations, like maybe Donald Trump is becoming president, which is not impossible now, and he starts to make some bans and restrictions to Chinese imports to the United States, and China will reply in kind by, for instance, banning temporarily iPhones or Apple products itself. So then Apple might have a good hit, and their production capacity probably will be limited. They will have like limited impact as of now, and yes, they will hit their revenues, but overall their business model will be profitable, and even they are out of Chinese business in 2 or 3 years, they will grow to some revenues, and they could be like repeating their heights of their revenues what they have now in a couple of years. So no, it won't go out of the business. And of course, if we look at the chart, we know that, let's go to like larger time frames. You know, yes, Apple has been hit due to these news, but like from larger perspective, here we are now. We are almost at all-time highs, from 196 to 178, which is way higher that Apple has ever been. So this is not a crisis for Apple. These news are not crisis for Apple. This is some unpleasant event which they knew what was happening before. So Apple won't go to like $40 due to that, and even if China will take him out, it will take a couple of years for Apple to regroup, and they will be back in the business in no time. They won't be getting out of the business, they will probably be out of Chinese business for some time, but global business will be there as it was. So I don't think you should overly rely on these kinds of news to say something bad happens and like United States and China will stop to trade with each other, and we will go to like North Korean types of relations between them, like everything is frozen, no one does anything with anyone. No, they are too big and too interrelated, and even Apple is scapegoat for some time. That's only for some time. So as an investor, you should pay some attention to that, but don't think that Apple will go out of business. And if you are a trader, you just ride the trends. So there is not much I could say into this matter. So that's about Apple. So thanks for watching this video, and stay tuned for my next information about financial markets. Bye.